This powwow means a lot. As a clean and sober community struggling against the meth and the alcohol, we created the sobriety powwow. Then we changed it to the Wellbriety Powwow, 4 years into it, because we wanted to celebrate the well-beings of our community members. We want you to be well. Dancers and drummers are invited to our Wellbriety Powwow. It's advertised via internet and also by word of mouth. Performers come from as far away as Yakima and as far south as Oregon, and they come as far from as Warm Springs. The host drum that shows up is from Pine Ridge Reservation from South Dakota, and they are a extended family of us McLeods, Joyce McLeod and Don McLeod, who travel up over there for their ceremonies during the summertime. We bring that host drum to our powwow because they all walk that Wellbriety Road and they have that sense of connection. So that's why we bring that host drum to us. Grass dancers would be the first to come in and stomp the grass down. That's hence the word grass dancer came from. Fancy dancers are more of the younger style who have that energy to carry on in that 5-minute dance. The traditional dancers are the ones who been through the fancy, now is the traditional dancer. The competition amongst the dancers that we have in place are for their travel here and to again advertise our powwow. So we bring in the competition to bring excitement to the powwow. You have your grass dance competition, you have your fancy dance competition, and you have your traditional competition. Those are for both the men and the women. We pay our host drums. You have 2 host drums, and then we would pay the first 10 drums that registered, and any drums beyond that want to join in the powwow are more than welcome to join in on the powwow, but they're not called upon to sing a lot of the competition dances. That's more the host drums and the first 5 drums that we have up front. The intertribal is just to get the community or the spectators involved, and it gives the competition a break. So then now we have an intertribal, and then you sing, and the dancers get out along with the spectators and the communities that are there. They get out and they dance with them. So you have your traditional regalia, where the men and women take time putting the beadwork and then putting the feathers, and it's more of a lifetime gathering of all of their beadwork, their regalia, or their feathers that they utilize. If it's the eagle or the hawk or you've seen a buffalo regalia out there. So they spend a lot of time, and the family around them spends a lot of time, but it gives the family and the dancers a sense of pride to put together this regalia for them to help. So the family's helping with the young dancer who comes out. The young dancer will come out into the arena, and they'll have a big welcoming for him, and that sends them on their way through the powwow trail, which they'll have, they'll travel from powwow to powwow. Nisqually's future plans for their powwows is we keep this Wellbriety powwow going, and then we bring in a summer powwow, meaning we'll have one in August or September. But there's a lot of other powwows going on in the summertime also. With the Puyallup tribe has their annual Labor Day powwow, then they have another Veterans powwow. Muckleshoot has their annual Labor Day powwow or Veterans powwow, and so it's creating another powwow outside of all the other powwows that we have in our area. The growth of the Wellbriety Powwow from some of the first powwows we had has grown immensely. So the arena has grown big to where we're getting more dancers and we're getting more drums, but you have the powwow committee that has to put all this together, along with the budget that goes with having to hire your arena directors, your registration people that help register all these dancers. Then you have your food, where we're feeding drummers, singers, and the dancers so we can keep the venue going instead of having to stop for a dinner break, and then where we're actually feeding them so they don't have to go nowhere. And that's just more of the sense of the pride of the Nisqually people, the Nisqually people, to feed your guests and then allowing them to stay comfortable and then don't have to leave to go eat. So that's still some of that traditional value that we bring to this powwow. This powwow has a lot of meaning to being able to keep the youth occupied, and then giving our elders pride of keeping this tradition going. Even though the powwow is not a tradition of the coastal people, it's still a venue that we have that gives the drumming and the singing and the dancing to our community. The participation of the youth is to keep them occupied and helping with feeding of the elders, seating, security, maintenance. They run the concession stand, and in doing so we pay them with a shirt or a sweatshirt, or we also feed them. Acknowledgement for this powwow is to show our ancestors and our elders that we're keeping alive our traditional values that we have in our community. And this powwow is one of them, where we celebrate not only sobriety but the Wellbriety of the Nisqually people, and having to show our youth another way besides the drugs and alcohol. And this Wellbriety kicks off that springtime and summertime of the tradition. So now we get into our traditional values of gathering during the springtime and then celebrating again for our canoe journey. This Wellbriety has been a big part of my life, and being a part of this powwow since its first start, I have seen a lot of the young men and even some of the elderly men take more pride in being a spokesperson for sobriety in the community and having a stance against the drug of meth or the alcohol. And in the teachings, we've had over the time, some of this has been that where we acknowledge these spirits of the drug and the spirits of the alcohol, because they mass consume a lot of the pride of being a man and providing for your family. My participation in the powwow has gone from coordination, doing a lot of the work. Now we get to sit back and be able to kind of enjoy where we're taking this and giving the responsibility to the younger crowd that want to be a participation in this powwow, or the coordination, or even just the running of the powwow. When more people come to our powwows, it just makes us more happier. To see such a big crowd, where we're talking now we need a bigger arena to enjoy this, where others enjoying this because of how we, as the Nisqually people of this prairie, of this river, take care of the dancers who come to our area, the singers who come and want to sing at our powwow. It's the pride factor, where we set our pride aside to take care of these individuals for 2 to 3 days.